you must learn how to free yourself from the past. Now, I'm not saying that you should ignore all your traditions and you should ignore your past. I'm saying that being trapped by it today on what you think is something that you had to have in the past and no longer works for you is something that you can get rid of. Again, this is a way of processing. This is a way of thinking. It is thought that we're working on here. It isn't a list of techniques to go out and practice doing these things. It is new ways of thinking, new ways of processing, because your life is really how you think about it. As you think, so shall you be, are the most important words, I think, ever written. 7 simple words. As you think, so shall you be. Your thoughts are what create your life. One of the traps that really immobilizes people is what I call the I's. Attaching themselves to the past with these self-definitions, these labels that we place on ourselves, and we begin to believe the label. The great Danish theologian Søren Kierkegaard once said that once you label me, you negate me. When you put a label on yourself like I'm no good at math, or I'm lousy at spelling, or I'm deficient at languages or whatever, you've just put I'm a slow learner. You've put a label on yourself. Now that isn't who you are. Who you are is how you think. What you think about is what expands in the world, and you are what you think about all day long. It is your thoughts that create your very life, and all of these definitions that you place on yourself are just things that keep you from being able to go out and do something about improving the quality of your life. Like if you put I call it the I'm circle. If you say something like, I'm shy, I've always been that way. That's my nature. It's just the kind of person I am. I can't help it. I've always been that way. And you hear these sentences over and over and over again. If you believe that, if that becomes who you are, if that label becomes your reality, then you're acting on the way of processing who you are. And if you say to yourself, I'm shy, and then you see yourself at a gathering, a social gathering, and you see a group of attractive people, then you'd like to go over and talk to them. And you say, I think I'll go over and talk to those people. You say, and then you start over there, and you're on your way over, and then you say, oh, wait, I can't do that. Why not? Well, because I'm shy. And there you go into this trap. You get yourself into this circle of neurosis in which you can never escape because you are living by the label. As soon as you put the label on yourself, you are no longer willing to do what it takes to overcome this thing that you have imposed upon yourself. You're not born with shy genes. It isn't something that anybody imposes on you or injects you with. It is a choice. You may not know any other choice, but it is still something that you have elected to do. And until you rid yourself of the label that you may have been carrying around all of your life, and then we begin to practice new ways of being. And what you do is, instead of saying, I'm shy, you say, up until this moment, I've always elected shy behaviors. But today, in this moment, I am going to elect a non-shy behavior. I'm going to try something different. I'm not going to live by the label that I've imposed on myself. And these labels can include things like I'm not good at sports, I'm clumsy, I'm not organized. People just say things like this as if this is why their life is in disarray. I'm just disorganized, like they inherited disorganized genes. Their genes are all over the place. They're genetics. There's some in the living room, some in the bedroom, some are in California, some are in Florida, some are in Germany, and they're just all disorganized. And I'm a disorganized person, as if that isn't a choice. To be disorganized is to say I make disorganized choices, and you're listening to someone who does that. But and every now and then I'll say to myself, well, I just don't like all of these details, and I hate keeping receipts, and I resent the IRS for making me keep all of these things, and it's just not the kind of person I am. And then I get a hold of myself, and I remind myself, I have chosen to be disorganized. And if I don't want to pay additional taxes, if I don't want to keep receipts, that's fine. I can just give them all of my money, and that's no problem. Or I can make the choice to. And so what I did with that, instead of telling myself constantly that I'm disorganized and resenting it, one day I just decided that I would handle my receipt problem like this. And I took 12 boxes and I put them in my office and on the floor, and I just labeled them. Postage, printing, utilities, travel, the 12 or 13 categories or whatever it is. And every time I get a receipt, instead of sticking it in something then at the end of the year resenting having to go through it and all that, I just throw it in one of those little boxes. And then I hired somebody to go through those little boxes and put it all together and take care of it for me. So I still don't have to fool myself into believing that this is something that I enjoy doing. Isn't this terrific? I just simply say, in order to be as happy and effective as I can be, this is a solution. This is a way of dealing with that. People just say things like, I'm old, I'm tired, I can't help it. I always tell people, look, don't let an old person move into your body. It's your body. You can do anything you want with it. And if you start walking slow, and if you start stooping yourself over, and you start minimizing your energy levels, and sitting around a lot and feeling sorry for yourself, and watching the world go by, before long, you're going to be immobilized throughout your entire life. Don't let that old person move in. Keep yourself young and vibrant, not youthful necessarily. I mean, be grateful for whatever age that you are, but don't take on those habits that are going to keep you from being able to do anything you want. And you get people saying things like, I'm forgetful. I can never remember anybody's name. It's just somebody introduces me to someone and then I've forgotten their name in the next moment. Well, that's a choice. That isn't something that happens because you've got some kind of deficiency in your brain or in your memory. It's because you have not paid attention to that kind of thing. And instead of putting a label on yourself of I'm forgetful and that gets in my way, if it does get in your way and you don't like it about yourself, what you want to do is shift that, transfer that to I am going to change that about myself. Then today, the first 3 people that I'm introduced to, I'm going to repeat their name over and over again in my mind, and I'm going to come up with some kind of an image in my mind so that I will not forget this person's name. And lo and behold, you have shifted an I'm from I'm forgetful to I'm really good at remembering. And you now have a whole new way of processing your life. If you're attached to the belief that you can't do something because you've always been told that, or because you're just like your father, or you inherited that from your mother. You hear families saying this over and over again. Oh, he got that from his grandfather, and oh, he got this from his great-grandmother, and all of that. That's nonsense. You are what you choose to be, not what you inherit. And you've got to know in your soul that you have the capacity to be anything that you want, that you are a purposeful, divine creature, and that you can create anything you want for yourself in your life. And the first thing you have to do is get rid of all of those self-defeating I'ms.